G'day everyone and welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'm Nat and this is my Knackers Yard. I say welcome back, welcome to new subscribers. Really nice bloke Gary from Project Man gave me a shout out actually on some of the work I'm doing with my Fazer because he's just finished one off himself. And the result is I've had quite a few bleed overs, which is really nice. So welcome chaps. You join me at quite possibly the worst time. So I'm away on holiday with the missus and kids next weekend for a couple of weeks. So I'm kind of winding down ever so slightly. So please be patient. I will be back with a vengeance. I'm at a good stage in my projects. First of which being Rat Boy. So this is the one that that Gary mentioned actually. And it was a theft and recovery. It had been hot wired, it had been abused. It was just not a happy chappy at all. And I've just I'll grab the keys in a second and I'll give you a quick run on that. But actually it's now sound. It's now my day bike. It's the bike that I'm insured on for daily use and commuting and all of that sort of stuff. But I think I am gonna say goodbye to it because it's a wonderful machine. It's just a bit leery for me as a middle-aged man going to work each day, but it's just lovely. More my cup of tea is Dave. Dave, my Diversion 900 Divvy. That is my day commute bike, or was certainly, and has been for 3 gusting 4 years. I absolutely love it. It's just too much bike for what I use it for a short commute. It's a long touring bike, but it's had a few upgrades over the time. It's been Street Fightered, or well, I prefer to call it a naked conversion rather than Street Fightering, because there's not really such a thing as a Street Fighter diversion shaft drive. But hey, rides beautifully, goes beautifully. A little bit of work recently in terms of just fettling the carburettor to work better with the 4-to-1 exhaust. I'll run that one up as well, probably. Wonderful bike, and in fact I'll do the 2 run-ups right at the end. The latest project slash, it's not really a project because it's going to be my day bike, is the other Fazer, which is pretty sweet. And when did I MOT it? Friday, so what, 2 days ago. Needs a wash, needs a clean, a little bit of work last night, so I've taken the hangers off that were silver and have gone black on those, and on the other side I've got the side of the carb covers, the engine covers are currently drying in the sun in the back garden, which is nice. Now this has got, I think it is a Black Widow exhaust. It was sold as one, but you know, I never really know, and it is feckin' loud. And what I did at the tail end of yesterday in the rain, once I dragged this bike known as Kit, a la Night Rider, once I dragged him in from the rain, is I wanted to hear what it sounded like with the baffle out, because it's a loud boy. And I MOT'd it obviously with the baffle in, took the baffle out. I have to say, to my untrained eyes, doesn't make a lot of difference, but I'll break into those now. And just for a final bit of shits and giggles, I want to see what Kit sounds like baffleless. So this is with baffle, a bit wet and a bit cold. And let's whip that baffle out and see what he sounds like afterwards. Right, a couple of seconds later, baffle out. Now it's a proper baffle, i.e. it's sealed at the end, so it's only letting air through those edges, which does mean that it'll be very easy to fiberglass and make it quieter, but let's see what it sounds like. See what it sounds like without, shall we? Power on. I don't think it sounds a lot different. but it does mean that I could quieten it up on that. Right, cool. Cheers all. Catch you later. So that's baffle in, baffle out. I mean, it is loud. Not ridiculously so. Not ear-bleedingly so. It doesn't attract, or yet to attract, blue flashing lights. But I think what I'm going to do is just try and pad out the baffle a little bit, see if I can get it to sound a little bit sweeter. Not necessarily quieter, but sweeter. So that's the baffle out. It is a proper baffle, as I mentioned a couple of seconds ago, so it has got the end locked. And it is quite, obviously I've got the bolt in so it's not going to fit, but it is quite, there is a fair amount of space around it. So what I have tucked away in the crevice of my little garage somewhere, there we go, everything's going to fall out when I pull this, it always does. Timber! There we go. We do have is some fiberglass wadding, and I have found some metal ties. So what I'm going to do is just chuck a bit of wadding around that, just see if I can take the edge off ever so slightly. Right, so there we go, there's the baffle. Now, what this is effectively doing, as my understanding goes, is it is forcing the airflow through a smaller gap. So effectively deadening the noise, and you can quite often you can just buy these as decibel killers as much as anything else. In fact, there's no branding on this, so I think this is actually part of the system itself. Yeah, and it just reduces the volume, or the noise, I suppose. It is blanked off at the end, loads of holes down the side. Now what I've got is my fiberglass wadding here, which I bought for another one. Fiberglass gloves. For those that have watched the channel for a while know that I'm not the most health and safety conscious guy in the world, but this stuff really irritates if you get it on bare skin. I should cover up my arms and everything else, but frankly I'm only doing a tiny bit, so I'm not overly concerned. You want to wrap it on and get it as tight as you possibly can, so that isn't tight enough. So I'm trying to re-wrap the loo roll here. So I'm just pulling it as tight as I can, doubling up where I can as I go through. Right, that should be enough there. Now, obviously, plastic cuffs are just going to melt the second that any heat gets them. But for a temporary measure, just to hold it in so it doesn't all undo my good ravelling work, is worthwhile doing before you get the metal bad boys out. So just wrapping it nice and tight. Feel this stuff in the air. Should probably be wearing something over my mouth so I'm not breathing it in as well. But I'm not doing a lot, I'm not doing much. I'm also doing it in fresh air. Right, metal plastic cuffs. Put them through. Trying to do this somewhere you can see. I hate these. They are crap. They came with a exhaust wrap kit, which is cheap and crappy. But all they need to do is hold it together, and we want to be together. That'll do. I think a bit of a snip. So one at the end, one at the other end, and one into middle will probably do us fine. So it's a nice quick job. Doesn't have to be pretty because it's on the inside of your exhaust. The only person that's ever going to see it is you when you take it out. So 1, 2, I am going to put a thread in the middle there. Now remember to get some more metal plastic cuffs. Right. pulling it nice and tight. Right, and there we go. Potentially one quieter exhaust. So, not even sure if this is going to be a permanent thing. I might just take it straight back out, but I just want to see what it sounds like. Right, I'm going to snip those off, chuck it in, and give it a go. Right, so literally 3 minutes later, I suppose. A little bit snug to get it in, but you know, nothing that needed a hammer or anything. It's a cold start, so I might do a little bit of choke. Let's compare against the others. I've tried to set you up at as close as I can get to the same sort of angle, but let's give it a go. Burning that fiberglass in. Right, I'm not sure what your verdict is, but this will give you a clue to mine. Taking it back out. Yeah, I think that runs better without, and frankly, it's not quite obnoxiously loud, but I'm never going to sneak past a copper. Right, so dragging the bikes out, probably just going to give them a clean, but let's give Rat Boy a go. Always risky on a cold start. And get my crap out of the way. Bloody monster, this bike. Not sure if I filmed the little addition. Always have my little road tax plates on them. Monster bike, monster. Right, breaking out the big guns. Let's try Dave out before I give him a wash. Started for about a week actually. Never let you down. It's an amazing bike. Needs a good wash. Just a workhorse, absolute workhorse. Right, let's give Dave a wash. Can't imagine why my neighbours don't like me. Yep, first one, mate. Now Kit and Rat Boy last. My neighbours love me. So there we go, that's the boys put away in the Knackers yard for another day. Like I say, it's probably going to go a little bit quiet because I'm away with the missus and the kids. Thanks for watching. We'll see what we get up to next. At some point in the very near future, Dave's going to have to go on the market, as is Rat Boy, and it'll line me up for whatever is next. What's next? I don't know. It really depends what I can get my hands on. But it is all about bringing bikes back to life. I'm not really a flipper. I don't buy them cheap to sell them more expensive. I buy them cheap because nobody else wants them, frankly. And they need to stay on the road. Thanks for watching all. Thanks for subscribing, particularly for the new people that come along, and for the old stalwarts that have been around from the beginning. Yeah, I really enjoy doing this. I enjoy playing with the bikes. I enjoy filming it so that people can watch along. I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. I've never been trained. I just working stuff out as I go along and just showing what can be achieved with some patience, some YouTube skills of looking up how other people have done things and made mistakes, and just really the attitude to give it a go. I use all the basic tools and I see what I get. And sometimes my results are pretty good, I think. Cheers all, thanks very much, and I'll see you again.